Hi, welcome to my story. This is my story I created on constructivism. So it's kind of about knights and fighting. So the story is called We Fight. So that is the cover. If you can see right here, there's a little ship back there. So we're going to get into the first page. The first page kind of talks about the types of learning, of transfer learning. So right here, as you can see, the first character, he's learning how to fly. We'll see more of what he turns into later within the story. These are the first terms that have to do with transfer of learning. So there's near transfer, far transfer, explicit teaching, analogies, and metaphors, and then generalizing. So near transfer is the type of learning that you formulate what you learned into situations. So that is when you use, so let's say the example that we saw from the video was, if you learn how to write a paper in English class, you're able to learn how to write a paper in like social studies or that type. So when it's far transfer, it's when you transfer the information to more complex situations. So in this case, like let's say the near transfer would be he's learning how to jump off the stool and fly. So once he learns, he'll be able to transfer that to, let's say he wants to jump off a cliff and fly. So the far transfer would be interpreting it into a more complex situation. So this flying, maybe he would interpret kind of the mechanics behind it and the technique. Like let's say if he wants to build a plane or learn how wings work, or kind of it's more about the critical thinking area. Explicit teaching kind of focuses on one specific subject and really breaks it down. So it's like if a teacher's trying to go through a lesson, make a point, they really relate it to life skills and situations. So the student can really focus and understand the meaning. Analogies and metaphors, that's something where we formulate terms so we can remember. And then generalizing, it's just getting that broader aspect and having the student being able to specify in certain situations. So as you can see, this is our second page. I'm sorry about the writing. It goes throughout the whole story. I couldn't really fix it. So right here, he's also doing transfer of learning. He's right now in the beginning stage where he is still learning before he becomes a fighter and a real warrior. And then this is when we see kind of have it all come into action. This is a part of constructivism. They're really doing critical thinking right here in the bonfires. You can see they're going to be collaborating with each other, communicating with one another. They have many meaningful context behind what they're doing. And then this is where they have the prior knowledge from their training, from what they've gone through, the type of transfer learning. So their critical thinking kind of formulates into here, kind of when they're in battle. They really have to think about their next move, what they've gone through the training. They have to problem solve each situation behind it, and then we'll see it. It's kind of going them. They constantly go through these struggles and these events where they really have to continue doing this, and it's really what they've learned, what they've trained for, and they're really going through that prior knowledge and tapping into that constructivism. So this is one of the last ones. So you can see right here, this is where he did learn how to fly, and he needed to have that prior knowledge of him teaching himself, because he would put it all into place. And this is where situated learning comes into. He is in the situation. He put himself out there in the real events compared to someone teaching him, someone sitting him down saying, okay, this is what you do. So it's cooperative education, kind of socializing with the real world problems. As you can see right here, the knowledge is acquired situationally, so kind of being in it, and then learning is the result of social process. So he's socializing. He has another one. It's the process of being in those real world problems and kind of cooperating with one another. The facilitator of learning, and then also definitely critical thinking right here, as you can see. So these are kind of why I chose this. As you can see from the beginning, this is where the learning occurs. This is a constructivism right here, you can see. And then this is all the situated learning happening in place. So definitely, I really grasped a lot from the videos, and this was my interpretation. This is how I created my story. Thank you. I hope you really enjoyed it, and this is the end.